Remember that scene in Lock, Stock where he loses the poker game? He's like that. Sorry if it makes you feel as ill as it just made me. Yeah, it's definitely a gloves kind of day. What the hell is that? I'm trying to figure out what it is. Oh, wait there, I know. I think that's a... Right, what? Oh, so I'm going to do a quick tour first. Take this with me. So, this is another bit of what we're doing. Maybe I'll put this one over there. Keep me warm. Keep me warm. Okay. So, we'll start with this wheelbarrow. Nope. No, we don't need to do that. This is about cars, but I will just show you. So we've got a lovely little Fergie, classic grey Ferguson tractor. I forget the model because tractors aren't, well, they are my thing, but not in a way that I remember the model. Seen that? That's a Coventry Climax engine. It's a fire pump, a water pump that the or military water pump, but the Coventry Climax engine. If you need me to tell you about it, then you probably don't know enough about cars. And a couple of Massey Fergusons, 135s, because Mum and Dad stopped. They gave up working. Well, no, I'll start that again. They moved here, decided that working the same old 9 to 5, 30 grind wasn't, working for them anymore. In fact, it was working 7 to 7, So they started a small holding, hence the tractors. I just moved this camera. And this one. It's fun, isn't it? Let's play What's in the Bubble. It's quite low. What is in there? What the hell is that? Trying to figure out what it is. Oh, wait there, I know. I think that's a Jaguar XJ6. Classic old Land Rover Discovery. Again, turn this. And this is sort of the Barnes section of Mum and Dad's collection. Series 2 might be a 2A. Again, comments, tell me if I'm right. Alex Evans, if you ever watch this, you can tell me, because I know you're the Land Rover man. And let's play it again. What's in the bubble? Now I know what's in this one. And I've got to be careful as I get around here because, it pulls itself down. can you tell that there's something round? Can you see 3-pointed star? Yeah. So it's a Mercedes, and that will be I think that's definitely a 500. I'll have to confirm, but it's a 1990, no, it'll be 1980s 500 SE or SER. Again, it's not a car that featured in my life, so I don't know the number. Another classic ride on mowers. Whee! I suppose I'll do a full barn tour one day. Not today. But yeah, XK8. Just give you a little flash. So it's blue. Sort of like a ice blue. I don't like the colour personally. And then we've got another one here, which isn't doing too well because I think it hit a deer, which was very sad. Yeah, it hit a deer. It jumped in front of my dad in the early hours of the morning, driving through probably Thetford here in Norfolk. Oh, but you do get a free mushroom with every purchase. 2 free mushrooms. But yeah, another XK8 in dark blue. And they're the first series. I think they're really, really pretty cars. Another classic Land Rover Discovery. Then you have the first one of my strange vehicles here. I don't like the soft top. It normally has the hard top, which is over there. One second, I'm just going to have to move the cameras around. Oh. There we go. There's that one. You know what? This single-handed cameraman malarkey. Golly gosh. Especially when it's absolutely freezing. So back to this. Yeah, private Stag. It's not in very good condition, but it's not in terrible condition. And the engine starts first time, as long as it's got fuel in it, and it will drive quite happily when it has a back end in it. Neither of those are true at the moment, but the engine it's got that beautiful burble, which you want from your 3-litre Triumph V8. Don't listen to people slag them off. The engines are good when you know what you're doing. Bless it. Oh, bless. But again, I wouldn't say it's really a car of my life. I'll maybe do something about it in another video. But so far, it's only been driven, I don't know, 100 miles max in the time that I've owned it. And the video will be more about sort of memories of a day collecting it with my dad. This trailer always reminds me of something like, Darling Buds of May. Something it just looks like it's from a much nicer, happier time. It's in much better days than currently. The bubble at the back, the carcoon, as they call them, I think that's another XJ6. And then you've got this. Can anyone tell me what this is? Anybody? First guess wins a sweetie. You at the back. Oh, is it a 1984 Austin Mini City E? That's right. Winner Sweetie. So, this is my lovely favourite Mini. Black roof, red paintwork, lots of chrome. Started off as a Mini City E, but I have made it look much nicer than that. Let's see if we can peek under here. Oh, actually no. If anyone knows about these car covers, just probably best to just leave them. But there will be a video about that one day. I'll maybe pop a photograph in this edit for you so that you appreciate what it is. And here, underneath my Stag hardtop, is it's a long wheelbase, because the grey Land Rover over there is short wheelbase, really cute. And here you've got the long wheelbase diesel Land Rover Series 2 or 2A. Again, Alex Evans, you're going to have to answer that one. The engine, it's been dismantled for restoration. And this is one of the many, many areas around that you can come and do things, should you wish. Oh, and I should have said, there's my Uncle Colin's old Royal Enfield motorcycle. This is one of the Indian ones. And my Uncle Colin can't drive. I never got his driving license. He has got his bike license. He bought that, and then after some injuries to his arm, he could no longer drive it, so he was going to sell it. And my dad, in his typical way, said, well, you tell me what you want for it and I'll buy it, and it'll come here. So that's where it's sat, because Dad and I aren't really motorbike people. We love them, but we've never really had that opportunity to ride them, to get our bike licenses and all that kind of stuff. But I'd love to tear that. I'd actually love to strip it down a bit, just put a single saddle on it, take some of the unnecessary stuff off, and just certainly ride around the fields. So that's this little area. I should also say that everything you see from here, around here, and here, has been built by my dad. And when I say built by my dad, I don't mean built by my dad who got some guys to come and do it. You see down there, there's another building at the end there, which maybe we'll go and have a look at. No, he's built this on his own. He's gone down the timber yard of the village. He's bought all the timber. He's brought it back. He's unloaded it. He's put his footings in. No, my dad, they'll be immaculately done. He's spent ages getting the proper creosote so that the wood doesn't rot. Everything lasts. And then he's built it all by hand, all by himself, with ropes and levers and things to get the uprights in. A very occasional little bit of help from myself, or very often my... Oh, look at that! You see that? Quick. See the muntjac deer running across the field? Oh, sorry, mate. I didn't mean to disturb you. But this is look at that beautiful frost. Another one of the barns that Dad's built. But you get these beautiful surprises. So this time of year, you'll get a muntjac, or maybe is it a fallow? Would it be a fallow deer or a roe deer? I think roe, but mainly muntjac that will come along, and live in the hedgerows and nibble the rose hips and all this kind of stuff. And then in the spring and through the summer, you have the hares. So you could be here And we've seen, so there's an orchard through there as well. You can have, half a dozen hares just suddenly, as you come in, they'll hear you and they'll lift and run. People have said they've never seen that many in their life. It's so, when people come and see that kind of thing, it's a real joy. You know, it's, oh fuck, it's nature. People forget there's nature around. Now, here's to the more serious bit. You mess with our family, he ain't gonna feed you to the fucking to the circular saw. Hey, we'll lay your body on here. We'll start with a torso. Hey, put the torso through there. Cut his head off. We pull one of the Massey tractors up. We drive off there. Yeah, now take an arm. Oh, here's another one of those sort of Darling Buds of May trailers. This is probably more Darling Buds of May. It's a bit taller. There's a bit in, I don't know, one of the later series where David Jason Parlarkin is running for councillor, chairman of the council or something like that. And he climbs up in one of those to give his speeches. It's brilliant. There are some fence posts soaking in the creosote that I mentioned before. Some hay bales, some farming equipment that I don't know what it is, to be honest. Now I think about it, this ladder here goes up into a little platform there so that we can come and hide up there in the evenings, in the summer, and just look over here and just wait for those animals to forget we're there or think we've gone in. And it's stunning. Really stunning. Oh my dear Lord. Oh my. But Jesus, I'm absolutely frozen. I'm going to have to go in for a coffee in a minute. That's not even, it's not even funny. Right, where can I'm just going to have to sort of smack my hands together. Oh, this hand's up. I struggle with bad circulation. Anyway, ever since I was a kid. My fingers would go purple and my friends would think I was a freak. And then, bloody hell. And then the tablets I'm taking, the medication, make it even worse. So I feel the cold even more. And today, as you've seen, it's one of the proper cold days. So please feel sorry for me. But yeah, I'll do a full tour one day if people would be interested in seeing that. I should also tell you that every hedgerow here has been planted by my parents and my sister. Claire, you did a really good job as well. Sorry, I should have given you credit. So my sister Claire and her husband Steve get involved when they can, but they've got their own projects going on. So most of this, I'd say 99% of this, is just my parents. When we moved in, the house there, so you've got the cream painted building, just that's all the office really. And the tree here, there, was the original boundary. Everything out there was just a single field, no planting, no nothing. So all of these hedgerows, it goes on and on. And the orchard of apples and pears, rare, indigenous, British apple variety, pear variety, everything has been planted by my mum and dad. The vegetable garden that's through there. All my mum and dad's hard work. To the point now where if you look on the Ordnance Survey maps, it reflects the layout of this field. And I think if you've had an impact on a piece of land, to a point where the Ordnance Survey have to mark it down, I think you should be proud of yourself. Yeah, so one of the vegetable gardens. Ooh, look at that. How beautiful. How beautiful. This isn't sort of a barrier of choice. It's just to stop the goat getting out, and they were freely available. So are you in there, Rose? Meh. 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 I don't blame her. I wouldn't want to come out either. Maybe we'll go and see her the other way. This is meant to be a video about bloody cars. I'm so sorry. I've kind of gone off on this weird tangent. There she is. Hey, sweetheart. Oh, my darling. Mum used to have quite a few goats, and Rose is the last survivor moment, aren't you? Hey? Beautiful. Livestock trailers. Don't know if you can see through there, though. Oh, through there. There's one car that I haven't mentioned in this section of cars, and that's the one I'm going to go and try and video today. Oh. Can you see it? I'm going to put my lights on. There we go. Now, to those of you who know me from Lincoln and Newark, there's my Audi, still here, and although it's covered in a bit of chicken poo and dust, it's pretty decent. So that'll be the video I'm going to do in a little while. Okay. Oh. While I'm waiting for the coffee to go through, I'll take you to the main garage that you may have seen in the previous video, the Triumph 1300 one. So I'll go along here, done that bit. See, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of detritus, a lot of this kind of thing that happens in the countryside. See how lucky I've been. I don't take my sort of privilege for granted. There isn't any money here. There's a lot of stuff, but what there is just an opportunity to be in the countryside, and my kids love it. Plant things, climb trees, grow vegetables, go and pick an apple, in the late summer, autumn. Okay, so these are all cars aren't really part of my life, so they won't feature. So there's a Triumph Stag. In fact, if you have ever seen the film Straw Dogs with Dustin Hoffman, Susan George, that is the white Triumph Stag that features in that film. It's one of the press cars. The Triumph placed in a film to get some publicity as one of those, I don't know, Dad would tell you, 12, 15 press cars that were used to. There was one, for instance, the saffron one that was in James Bond. that was filmed in Amsterdam. So I think we've got Triumph 1300, probably another Triumph 1300, maybe. What have we got here? Oh no, it's another Triumph 1300. So that might be a Dolomite. Who knows? Here is, well, I'll show you that in a minute. Another Triumph 1300 and another Triumph 1300, in which case that second one would be the brown Dolomite. No, I can't rest until I know. No, I was lying. That is the brown Triumph Dolomite 1500. That was my grandfather's. The mechanic I told you about in the previous video. That was Knowles. That's a Dolomite 1850 with a similar trim spec and everything to a Sprint that we rescued from the local scrapyard. But you can see they've crunched it here. They've lifted it with a digger or the big old grabber just to move it onto a pile. But it was useful for spares. Plus, Dad wanted to have an 1850 engine, which is odd because I'm now a massive fan of Saabs. My dailies are, well, I don't drive, but my dailies are Saabs, and at some point I'll do the video about the link between Triumph and Saab. This is a car called Bumble, which we paid something like £50 for from a guy down the road, so Claire could come here and learn to drive on this driveway. So Claire and I used to take turns driving that car back and forth. It's never been on the road for us, and it's called Bumble for obvious reasons. Here we go. So here's another three-pointed star. This is a late 60s 280S, which is my mum's car in a fetching brown. But yeah, that's definitely one of the cars that we got ferried around in as a child. So if I can, I would love to sit in that because I can tell the smell that, just right here, right now, I know exactly how that is going to smell. That'll be another Stag. Ugh. Yeah, that is okay. Can't remember the paint color, but that's a dark red Stag, and this will be the flamenco red Stag that I could put some photos up of that Dad and I went and rescued during lockdown. Again, that was another car that was offered for free because it went to the right people. This is my dad's Daimler. It's definitely a memory car that will feature at some point. How we're going to get in it, I don't know. Poor thing got trapped in a flood, so that's why it's looking sorry for itself. But that was an incredibly high spec car. It's a stunner. I love it. Always did love it when Dad brought that home. In fact, no, when we first saw it, when he bought it, it was at the place he worked, and he sort of said, "Go sit in it," or something like that. I'll guess whose it is. It's mine. We pulled up in a brown Triumph Dolomite or something. We were like, flip it. Golly gosh. Blimey. Really? Dad put hundreds of thousands of miles on that. And also drove us to Bayern Munich game. Any Norwich City fans? He drove us all the way to Bayern Munich and back with a couple of hours sleep on the boat. We were all able to sleep in the car because it's so comfortable. It had a major rear end smash because someone hit him on the Autobahn in a Golf. And he watched the game. We won. Mark Bowen, Jerry Goss. And he drove us all the way home. Again, no sleep, just with the cold air blowing on his face, keep him awake. Dropped us off at school. He went to work. Van. It is sort of a life car because it's because we moved houses in it. And I really like it. It's sort of square and solid, and that's one of the many Jaguar XJs that are here, sort of spares and what have you. Again, not a car that featured in or has featured in my life. This one here, Triumph 2000 Estate, also hasn't featured in my life. It looks like it's featured in a cat's life, though. Well done, cat. And this is the this is the Metro that definitely needs a video, because this was given to my ex-wife by her grandmother. This is the car that I drove my son Oscar home in 17 years ago from Lincoln Hospital, when we didn't need it anymore because she bought a Corsa. We gifted this to my mum because it was just useful being around here to just have a little run around. And of course we've got an Admiral drawing board just sat there. We've got two of these. One of them's mine, one of them's my dad's. That better not be mine. And then a couple of, this is so sad. This was my dad's car, a daily, and it came a cropper. It went into a tractor. You couldn't make it up, could you? There's one written off by a deer, one written off by a tractor. We live in Norfolk. And this is just a spares car that he acquired. But the trim in that is God, it's all in there. Just didn't have its engine. Ugh. Sorry, Dad. I'm definitely going to edit that out. I'm really sorry. Oh my God. Look. Oh. It looks like that side was already broken because it's dirty. You see that break there? So I don't think it was actually all my fault, this bit. No, it was clean. That was me. I'm going to put it there so we know where it is. Oh no, wait, it's happened there as well. I don't feel quite so bad. You can't see in there. Black leather trim. Very nice. Now, I'll go along here. So this was an old chicken shed. When we bought the house, or when we were looking at houses in Norfolk, because Mum and Dad wanted to return to Norfolk where they'd grown up, we'd always look in the estate agents. We'd tell them, right, we need this many bedrooms, and it needs to be Victorian, or possibly, Regency, late Georgian. It needs to have the tall ceilings, which you obviously started to get much more of Victorian houses. They say yes, okay, they'd write it down. So, but the most important thing is it needs to have barns, outbuildings. If it doesn't, we're not interested, or at least room to build them. So when this sort of retired, the beautiful old rectory, but this was chicken sheds after the war. Okay, that's open. It was ideal because you could fit, I think we calculated, if you wanted to, you could fit 18 cars in there. Seemed enough, didn't it? Again, so this is like the beginning of the last video. Oh, wait there. Is there a light switch for? Must be. Oh, there we go. Sort of bits of bikes, there's woodworking stuff. Oh, there's my old BMX from when I was 6 or 7. I had yellow, Claire had red. Turn that off, save the electricity. Okay, so do you remember in the last video I said, this is the spares bay. We've got lots of things going on. We've got wings. Looks like a Triumph 2000. There's a Stag panels there. Oh, no, actually, I'll do that again. Look, if I put my light on. So we got, looks like Mark 1 Triumph 2000 here. Boom. Got Stag parts there, made of nice solid metal. God, look at all those heads. I'll just turn the light down a little bit because it's, a bit bright. yeah, there's original repair panels. There's bits of. So this is obviously the Stag section. We've got some beautiful seats up there for. Oh, they look like they've come out of a Triumph. Definitely Triumph 2000. That horrible sort of cloth interior. Blah blah blah. There's the one bit in here that's mine. That's from my twin turbo Saab. You see now we've got bits of Mercedes. Big compressors. This is where I smack my head. We go through and look at these engines. Let me turn the light up a little bit more. There we go. So that looks to me to be a Mercedes V8. So what's that going to be? That's a 3.5 litre V8. That's a Stag engine. And we've got the straight six, the 2000 and 2.5s. Got a 4-cylinder, so that'll be a Dolomite, stroke Spitfire, stroke, Then, fly press. The beautiful collection of fridge freezers, of course, why wouldn't you? He's only recently built this, so I won't lie, I've not even been in there. And I think this is the section, this is like doors, body panel, I've not even been in there. It doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to really get in there until Dad finishes tidying it up. Wheels. Oh, some of my wheels must be over there. I've got some wheels for my Stag, and they've sort of disappeared a bit. These timber doors came out of reception at the original Standard Triumph factory. So when they knocked that down, these doors were recovered. They look to be, are they teak? And one day they will, I think they should go in here. What do you think? Boop. 1, 2. This is, did I turn the lights on here? How do I do that? I need to go back and find a light switch, don't I? Light switch. Again, because this bit's all only recently been made new, as it were, I don't know where the bloody light switch is. Oh, come on. Oh well, we'll just have to do it without. So if I stand back here, this is Dad's most recent purchase. A car that works. Whoa, we got a car that works. And this used to belong to Harry Webster, who was the chief of design at not just Standard Triumph, then British Leyland. He worked with Spen King. Car fans will recognise that name. And it's really lovely. It's a really lovely car. My son and daughter love spending time in that in the summer. Okay, so here we are in the main garage that you will have seen in the last video, and if you haven't, then you need to go and watch it. This car here is another Stag, a really beautiful, look at that, beautiful Wedgwood blue. I'll put these. Oh, that's what we're talking about. I can turn this light off now. Check out. How do I do? Check out Dad's cheeky TWR dust cloth. He sold TWR racing, so he obviously got himself some little souvenirs. So yeah, this is Wedgwood blue. This was one of the press cars. Stag, I should have said. So like the one outside the Straw Dogs, this is one of the press cars as well. that's lovely. And that has the only remaining 2.5 litre Triumph Stag engine. It was meant to have a 2.5 litre fuel injected engine. Then, because of the American emissions and all the crazy crap that goes on in the States and various other things going on at Leyland at the time, it changed to a carbureted twin carb V8 3 litre. This is a prototype Stag. Can I lift the cover? Oh, the cover. It's in a really beautiful, it's called Valencia, and Stags were never made in Valencia, which is a sort of greeny blue, apart from that one. That prototype originally was built as the only Valencia car. And Valencia, I think as a colour, was really as more of a 60s, flat 60s colour, as opposed to some of those more exciting 70s colours, your oranges and bright greens and what have you. So Triumph 2000, white with a blue roof. That's about as original as can be. The old boy that used to have it, this was probably a one-owner car before this. He did everything he could to maintain it, and when he passed away, his daughter reached out to my dad and said, could you give it a good home? So one day that will be, to be honest, I think we should just oil change all the stuff, make sure it's turning, blah, 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 and see if we can get it running, and then just use it as is. Make sure that it's structurally sound, but it seems to be, and just leave it with that patina Triumph Dolomite that, again, was one of my granddad Noel's, Grandad Baker's cars. And then my cousin Tracy, Matthew, had that car for a while, and you'll probably be watching this at some point. Tracy and Matthew, who are some of my many beloved cousins, the Jeckelses. So yeah, they borrowed that when they needed a car. Where do I start? But that's another press car, and it was just left to rot, and some idiot has allowed it to get in that state. That's why Dad's putting covers over every car, building barns to protect the cars, because, as I said before, metal doesn't like water. You can see a whole host of bits and bobs in there. You've got to laugh, to be honest. What's he put on here? Please do not try to lift this bonnet, as the hinges are not in very good condition. It may come off in your hands. And you know what they say? Once you've touched it and broken it, it's yours. So yeah, that's a Triumph 2000 estate that I do remember being driven around in. This is the car that I did last time, 1300. That's the roof, the sunroof from the 300 SEL, from the 3.5 litre Mercedes engine that Dad and I scrapped. I say Dad and I. Dad scrapped it when I was a kid, and he was good enough to let me pretended that I was able to undo that bolt. And I think I remember using an angle grinder, though, that kind of thing, and I would have been 6 or 7. This is the Mark 1 2.5 PI, a rare car now, and it's stunning. It's got a red leather interior. It's got the radio, all those things that a lot of the cars didn't have. It's got the 2.5 had that extra level of trim. It's got a beautiful sports steering wheel as well. So that will have a video. This was my dad's first Stag. He'd already bought my mum a Stag, which is just down there. We'll talk about it in a minute. He bought this. It had been all sorts of different colours. We were living in Stockport. I think someone hit him, and it was clear that it was the time to get it fixed and have it put back to its original factory colour, because this is an early Mark 1, which was saffron. It went away to have its bodywork done, which you can see it has been done. So it's all very straight, lovely. It was primed. And then I don't know what happened, whether Dad had lost his job, whether we moved it. He never had it painted, and it was covered until the time that he could get it painted. And you can see it basically needs to be stripped back again and restarted, but at least the bodywork's all straight. This is a Triumph 2000, used as an experimental car at the factory. So it's a X-coded car. You can tell there's been something going on there because of the bonnet bulge put in at the factory, and they were using it to test running the SD1 engine in it, which is like a Rover engine in a Triumph. If I do a video, because we did spend some time in it, if I do a video about it, there's a lot of information on there that I can use. This is my mum's first Stag that I just mentioned, pimento red, covered up. That was I think Christmas present to my mum from my dad, and he did that classic like wrap up the keys. And she was, oh, what's this? Don't want keys, idiot. And he said, oh, look across what's that across the road? And she, I think I remember it. We're in the sitting room, Stockport. Like one of those, we only use the room at Christmas. And it was parked on the other side of the road in Stockport. And yeah, that's a lovely, lovely thing. And we drove it around a lot, and it got used a lot. Went to a lot of car shows and things. That was when I was 3, 4, my younger son's age. Another Stag shell. All I can say about that is that Claire and I used to climb around in it when I was a child, and it was exactly as it is now. So that proves the point that none of this has got worse. This is my little Triumph Spitfire 1500. It was originally my grandmother's, my Nana Liz, the most beautiful, elegant lady I know. She's beautiful. If you're watching this, Liz, I love you very much. And she used to drive around in this. I think she passed a driving test when she was relatively old, maybe in her 40s. So it wasn't like when she was a child or when teenager. And she chose a beautiful, bright red sports car. And when it came time for her to no longer use it, didn't want it anymore, same as I said with my Uncle Colin's motorbike, she went to sell it, and my dad did his usual thing of tell me what you'd like for it, and I'll pay you. And then here's the car that I mentioned in the other video as well. So the 300 SEL 3.5. So it's not the 6.3, which obviously people go crazy for, but this isn't that much slower. And it's still got all the trim and all the details. Same car, just the slightly smaller engine. And I've got this weird feeling that they may have made fewer of the 3.5 than the 6.3, but I don't know. So don't go bitching about it in the comments. Just inform me. Say, oh, actually, you're wrong. They actually made slightly more of that one. I don't know. Can I just say something? This is an old dishwasher. Ugh. Oh, bums. Oopsie. Okay, well, that used to have a fully working hinge on it, and that has followed us for the last 30 years. And Dad's always used it, and then I used it as a little small parts spray booth. And a lot of red paint, or is it blood? Who knows? But I used that for doing a lot of the parts on my scooters. Yeah, I think that's probably a good place to stop it. There's only one bit that I will need to show you one day, but that's not really cars, that's my scooters, and it's just through there in this, I'll go to the window. So that old stable through there is, that's now my scooter shed. So we'll have a look in there one day. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Carefully. Ooh, squeeze between two very rare Triumph Stags. There's the church behind that ugly house. But there's the church that originally this rectory was connected to. Okay, I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to go get some coffee, warm my hands up. Little bit.